If you've seen some of my previous tweaking videos, you'll know that I have, or had, two B-flat generation whistles. I had this brass one, which I'd heavily tweaked, and the videos were about tweaking a nickel-plated generation one that I had. And the long-term goal was going to be to tweak the nickel one so that it was not in B flat, it was in B itself, B major. And here it is, it's all done. So I filmed as much as I could of me doing that. Here's the finished whistle. It's been shortened, and that brought the low note up to B, and got it to the right length so the low note was in tune, and this note, which is, let me think, in B, sorry, brain fail, I got it so the low note, the B, was in tune, and pretty much so that the G sharp note, that one right there, that was in tune, and these ones in the middle, they weren't quite in tune, so I did have to alter the size of the tone holes to bring it into tune, but it is now a fully playing whistle in the key of B. This was brilliant for me because learning blues, I wanted to be able to play E major mixed Lydian blues, and I didn't have a whistle where you could easily do that. The only alternative was to buy a whistle in A, and they're not so cheap, so I wanted to be able to do it without breaking the bank. The generation whistles are kind of, roughly a tenner each. I got this brand new, and it's cost me hardly anything because I basically cut it with a friend with a hacksaw, and I'd bought some tools already to work with the holes. So I can show you how to do this. It was actually quite difficult to do, even though the tools were very simple. We only used a hacksaw, and we had a vise, but actually we tried doing part of it just without a vise, just holding it freehand, and it did work. It just took a lot longer and was more fiddly. The one thing I would say is if you're going to do this, unless you really, really want a nickel one, don't do a nickel one because it's so slippery, really hard to hold, really hard to cut, and we found that really, really difficult. I do like the nickel whistles for blues because to me they have more of a flute-like sound, and they've also got, a really smooth surface, so the half holding for me I just find so much easier. So I did want it to be a nickel for that reason. I thought that might be a better thing for blues. Anyway, I'll show you this tutorial, well, not tutorial, the bits of footage I did of us doing it, and then I'll play it for you a little bit. Going right up to your mark. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's quite a lot coming off, isn't it? Wow.
Actually, hacksaw.
It's a hacksaw crap.
Cuts. It's being on the outside.
Yeah, it's above the mark rather than below the mark.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the less stressful one.
This is so soft that if I tighten this too much, it's actually...
Yeah. They did say at the hardware store, maybe you don't put it in a vise.
Well, we can always straighten the loop.
That's true.
Yeah, it's better than your new blade, for whatever reason.
You're just getting it
just
straight by experience.
Yeah, we can tidy it up, mainly the things sticking.
Okay. That's a lot that's coming off. I'm quite surprised how much we're taking off. I hope the measurements are right.
So do I. Come on, you.
Oh, well done.
Well, it needs tidying up.
It's pretty good. I think don't tidy it up. Let's see if we can get the length right at the other end.
No, let's tidy it up so we can see.
All right then. So,
starting with the flat saw file.
Oh, I see, because it's really uneven.
Yeah.
That at this end, that doesn't matter so much as long as we can put the head on it.
Yeah, I know, but we might as well clean the bloody thing up. See, that's an uneven cut. That's already looking much better.
pretty good, huh?
It's not quite square, but it's bloody close. And I'm going to tidy up with a saw file that's round in a mo.
In the inside.
Yeah. I think that grubby handled one, the old one, is an old chainsaw file. That's not so bad. That looks like an old chainsaw file. Still a little bit rough. So is this nickel? It seems harder than your average.
No, it's brass and it's dipped in nickel. So we should see brass in the middle.
Oh yeah, I think you're right actually.
I personally really like the brass because it gets that tarnish to it that I actually really like.
I mean the nickel's there to stop the tarnish, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. But I sort of feels like I'm playing a piece of bathroom plumbing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's almost nice to have a bit of patina.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying not to leave horrid burrs. Because that...
I remember that's the bit that goes under the mouthpiece.
Yeah, but there's no harm. We've got time.
No harm in making it perfect.
Making it a bit more bloody tidy. Do you know what I'll probably do? Do you want to put the mouthpiece on, or do we need it to measure from that?
No, let's not put the mouthpiece on because that doesn't actually tell us if it's going to work yet. We need to do both ends.
I mean, that's not 90% square.
It's pretty good.
It's square enough. So we need to hold it in place and be very slightly one side of it. God, it's so slippy.
Maybe it'd be better off doing it with the brass one.
Trying to find where we were. That's the marker. We want to be one side.
Oh. Gosh, I thought I could do this, but it seems like even hard for you. Yeah, I messed it up, didn't I? So it started to come in too much. But a pipe cutter wouldn't cut that close to the end, would it?
No, not really. Do you not fuck that? It'll have its uses, but I think it's just not the beast for this.
All right.
You will find a use for that little hacksaw without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, I know I will, yeah. And there it is. Trouble is, it's not quite in tune. I mean, to play it by itself, you might not notice. But yeah, I think you can kind of tell it's not quite in tune. So we've got to try and sort this out. So the way we're going to do this is going from the bottom up. So we get the lowest note in tune, then the next one in tune, then the next one. So I'm going to go through that process now and walk you through it. I've got the whistle, I've got some tape if I need to make a hole smaller. I've got my files for making the holes bigger. And I'm working on a rims tray so that I can get rid of all of the metal shavings later on without it being dangerous. Great, so let's do this. I've also got off camera, I've got a tuner up so that I can check that I've got this perfectly in tune. So let's look at our low note. That is B is fine. That is so flat, it actually is a C and it should be a C sharp. So we're going to have to make all of these holes quite a lot bigger. It is really hard, this brass. Right, well, I'm going to do this for a while, and then I'll switch the camera back on when I've done it. Right, I have tuned that tone hole. It is now the note on the 5 hole is essentially in tune, which is the C sharp. But I realised that actually when I was tuning it, I realised that the whole whistle was slightly too short. So I actually took a very thin piece of the original whistle, just that thick, you know, I think it's like 3mm maybe, and added it on, and that's worked better. So now I've got to open up this tone hole to bring my D sharp into tune. So I shall do that. Same method. So now I've done the 5th tone hole. They're turning into cavernous tone holes, but it is coming into tune. Next, I've got to open this one up a little bit. I'm hoping I don't have to open them all up, but maybe I will have to because we're changing a B flat to a B, so maybe I'll have to. So this one just a little bit. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so that one's in. So we've got everything up until whole, well, basically when you get to the E is now in tune. What happens next? So basically, that could be good enough, but we could open this one a little bit to get the A bang in tune. I'm also slightly worried about what that's going to do to, so it's not an A, is it? It's an F sharp. So the G sharp, which is hole 1, that is in tune. I don't want to push it up slightly by opening this hole up, but it does need to go up. I think it does need to go up. So we're going to open this to push our F sharp up a little bit. I've got a good method going, so I might actually just show you what I'm doing. So I've got a completely, you know, circular, is that the right word? I've got a completely round one. It's not round, is it? It's pointy. And I'm going in like this. Obviously I want to bring it up, so I am opening it up at the top but not at the lower half, so top half, not lower half. But then it's really, really tough metal, so I'm skimming across the top like this to thin it down with this flat one, you see. And that means that when I go back in with the round one, I'm really able to pull out a thinner sheet of metal, like it's really thinned the edge, and that means I can dig into it much more quickly. And then go back again. This also, this flat one also really finishes it so that it's not rough on the fingers. Yeah, let's have a look. That's it, my F sharp is now bang in tune. So far that's taken me, I would say, half an hour. It's actually been quite long compared to doing my D whistle where the metal was much, much softer. But this should be bang in tune. I'm noticing that I do have to blow it up to tune in the higher octave, but I think that that's normal for the whistle. I think that it does require a faster airstream as you go up so that the top notes won't be flat. But that is now in tune, so now I've got to clean up, make sure none of this dust gets anywhere bad, because it's really, really bad to get metal dust in the wrong part of your life. And this has been a success.